Sneaky Messengers, a Space Pawdyssey. This video was created for a contest on the app called Furry Amino to create a space adventure, and the theme of this contest was called Space Pawdyssey. They gave several basic plot synopsis ideas on their page to follow. I chose this one, Sneaky Messengers. Of course, I did a little bit of improvising on my part, but a lot of this text here is what they suggested that you do for your basic story, and then you could flesh it out and add your own elements in. So this was created in just a few days, hurriedly, before I took my trip to Florida to head to Disney World, and to put it out to see if I would win the contest or not, which I never found out if I did, but the post did get featured on the page, and that was really exciting, so that was worth it. And these models of these spaceships were from previous projects I worked on, so I didn't have to model anything because I already had it in my library of things I've made. That's really helpful when you work on projects, is to keep stuff that you could reuse. Or just going back in general and reusing. Sometimes it's tempting to just make new stuff rather than go back and see if you can put to good use the stuff that you already worked really hard on. And that shot is obviously just under my desk with my little LED lights so that it looked somewhat different. And this is kind of interesting because Bobby technically dies in this episode. I'd assume this was a film that they worked on, so Bobby was just acting in this. Also, one of the only videos, and I think it's the only video at this point, now there's stuff that I have coming out currently that's going to be in a cinema wider screen like this to make it more cinematic. And that's just my Han Solo costume that was custom made, although I'm not wearing the holster though, because the holster wasn't fitting right anymore. Which I think I'll bring it back for something in the future. And this is the twist ending that people really liked, and they wanted to see what would happen next, which we did get a brief glimpse of it. In my 1-year anniversary podcast, I showed the lightsaber battle between Aaron Fox and Shelley that I never used for an unfinished sequel. And the shot where Shelley's holding the lightsaber kind of drives me crazy because you can see the blade doesn't quite follow his blade in the actual footage. It's one of those things that I'd like to go back and fix because I was just experimenting with it at that time. Very Star Wars-esque, but trying to avoid using Star Wars music for copyright reasons. I ended up still getting a copyright notice, though.